Hey, what's up guys, it's Levi here and welcome to a brand new video on the Team Gullit channel, where in this video I will teach you how to defend in FC 25. I will teach you the 5 most important things you need to keep in mind or you need to make use of in FC 25 to be able to be the best defender possible. So the first thing we're kicking off with is making use of offside traps. I've said it in previous years, it is so important, and again this year you can't underestimate it. First of all, you need to know how to perform the offside trap. I know some of you guys struggled with it because previous years it always has been D-pad arrow down twice. Now it's actually the opposite. Now you need to press your D-pad arrow up twice in order to perform an offside trap. What does an offside trap actually do? I see you guys thinking, an offside trap makes your defensive line step up higher. The first advantage you get from performing offside traps is that it's way easier to press your opponent. As you can see in these clips, it's way easier to press my opponent in the midfield because my defensive line is pushing up way higher. Not only my defensive line, but also the midfield and the attack. They won't just sit back and wait. When I perform the offside trap, they will all push forward. On the other side, it's also so hard for your opponent to reach your box because when he passes back and I perform an offside trap, every time my defensive line steps up. So he needs to do way more to be able to break down my defense. And what happens in this clip is that he's going down the wing, I perform an offside trap, he goes back, but I already have the press on him. He can't go anywhere, I intercept the ball and I can start to build up an attack. This is how important it is to perform offside traps. And if I'm being honest, it might be the most important thing when it comes to defending. Obviously, it's about timing. If you time it wrong, your opponent has an easy chance, of course. But to become a better player in EAFC 25, you have to make mistakes to learn from them. So the first thing I would recommend is to start practice using offside traps. Tip number 2 is a new feature introduced in FC 25, the tactical foul. Sometimes you're gonna get into a situation where your opponent is on a breakaway, he will have a good chance and you needed to make a slide tackle in previous years. This year you don't need to do that. You can just make a tactical foul by holding R1 and press X. As you can see in these clips, I do it down the wing, not really the situation where you should do it, but it's the perfect example to show you guys how it works. 9 out of 10 times you get a yellow card though, but it also works in situations where in previous years you will make a slide tackle and probably receive a red card. Now if you press R1 and X, your player will make a tactical foul. It's so annoying for your opponent, but you can start to organize your defense again. And obviously it's a good feature. Tip number 3, chase back on your opponent. A mistake a lot of you guys make is by selecting your midfielders or defenders too early when your opponent is attacking. The thing that will happen is that you will drag players out of position. Whilst if you just run back with your attackers or midfielders, your opponent can't do anything. As you can see in these clips, my opponent is trying to search for a gap. He's dribbling, twisting and turning, but I just run back with my attacker or with my midfielder. I put pressure from behind, I tackle him or I intercept the ball. It looks really easy, but I know a lot of you guys forget about this because it feels a little bit unnatural, but you have to start to chase back with your strikers and your midfielders before selecting your defenders. I think this is one of the most common mistakes you guys make, and it's probably one of the biggest game changers there is when it comes to defending. Tip number 4 I'm gonna give is tackling. In this game, you need to tackle once you are close to your opponent. As you can see in this clip, every time I get close to my opponent, I tackle with circle. Especially with defenders I have, sorry guys, I might be a little bit paid to win, but Saliba, Van Dijk, when I press circle at the right time, they will just have the ball and my opponent can't do anything about it. But also if you have worse defenders, if you time the tackle right, press circle, they will tackle the ball and they will regain your possession. I know a lot of you guys try to just walk into your opponent, but this is always really tough. Your opponent gets bounce backs more often if you just try to run into him and not tackle. Although, if you want to intercept the pass, you should not tackle. But if you really want to make a tackle, go on your opponent, try to get the ball off him, you have to press circle. And last but not least, might be one of the best tips as well. I think some of you guys know it, some of you guys don't know, is using the sprint jockey. You perform a sprint jockey by holding L2 and R2 at the same time, and this basically makes your defender way more agile once defending. when you're not using L2 and just sprinting, you'll probably feel like you're on ice skates. And when you're just using L2, your defenders will feel so slow. What you see in these clips is that my defenders have the perfect pace for me to be able to read my opponent, intercept the pass, or again, make a tackle. Your defenders feel so much quicker when you're using the sprint jockey, and it makes it so harder for your opponent to run past you or do skill moves and beat you that way. That's it for the defensive guide. I think and I hope I helped you guys out. All that I want to ask you guys is to leave a comment down below, thumbs up on this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe on our channel. And all that I want to say, thank you for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.